What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Lifestyle Nutrition Podcast. Coco is already getting us started here with some nice, greatly placed barks. And so we're getting it rolling here. And this is episode 2 of my self-love journey. And so just a quick little bit that I'm going to be bringing you in on every Thursday. I'm switching it to Thursdays. We'll have the main podcast on Tuesdays, self-love journey on Thursdays, 10 to 15 minutes of just me kind of bringing you into the progress that I'm making and just some of the things that I'm trying throughout this. Because a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is trial and error. It's stuff that I'm learning from podcast books, from my course that I'm taking on identity shifting, from my coaching that I'm getting, a lot of different stuff that I'm doing to try and move myself in the direction of where I want to go. And honestly, one thing I realized, my friend Jillian made me realize this, is that like, I've kind of known this, but like I overthink a lot of things, right? I'm somebody who like, I really, really want to move forward and I really want to apply a lot of the things that I read and I hear. And like, I can try to apply a million different things. And so you'll see my phone, like if you were looking at my phone, like I have so many reminders on my phone and it's like, sometimes it's really stupid things or just stuff that I probably shouldn't remind myself of. You know, I'm trying to remind myself of different things, like different cues and stuff like that. And so Jillian made me realize I got to step back and I just got to relax. I just got to like, just let myself be and just like chill out, chill the fuck out, right? Just chill the fuck out for a second and just allow myself to like not have to feel like I have to like apply everything that I'm learning throughout the day super quickly and like to work on like one thing at a time. And so that's what I'm really trying to do here. And some other things that I've been doing here over the last week. So like I was talking about my identity shifting course. I was talking about just the fact that like accepting the fact that I needed to keep on working on self-love, self-acceptance, and all of these things that I'm trying to get better at has really relieved a lot of that stress for me and gave me a little bit more peace. And so I think if you can also like just accept that and just be like, you know what, I'm going to go towards growth, right? I'm going to start moving towards growth. I'm going to start moving towards the best version of myself and just try to get a little bit better each day. And one thing I'm trying to do, I'm trying to remember to do is I think it's easy to attach our self-esteem and our self-worth to things outside of us, right? To other people's validation, to other people's opinions, to all these other things, to the results, right? Even to the results, because if we're attaching it to the results, like sometimes that's out of our control. Like we can put in all of this effort and sometimes the results are out of our control, or when we get those results are out of our control, right? You can just kind of keep going at it. So like what I'm trying to think about is attaching my self-worth, my self-esteem to learning and to growing and to getting a little bit better and knowing that like if I'm doing that, like that's all I can do. And I should feel super duper happy about it. And so that's a huge thing that I'm attempting to do. Some of the things I've done in my meditation is, so Lewis Howes, I love Lewis Howes. He has the School of Greatness is his podcast. He's an author, I think he's got like 2 or 3 books out there. I'm actually reading his book, The Greatness Mindset, right now. And it is amazing. Just at all of this stuff that we're talking about, breaking false beliefs, really loving yourself and just trying to grow as much as possible. That is a book I would highly recommend. I'm about 3/4 of the way through and it's got so many amazing exercises in there that you can utilize as well. So like highly recommend that. But he also talks about like, and I've heard people on his podcast talk about as well, like asking yourself like what your younger self needed to hear. Like a lot of times we have this trauma and we have these things that happened in our past and, you know, our younger version of ourself needed to hear something back then, right? Like it was not, you know, maybe you didn't feel loved. Like you didn't have somebody tell you that they're proud of you a lot or whatever it may be. Like what was that thing that you needed to hear? So like, I've been trying to go back, explore that in my meditations and just like visualize my younger child self that was just a scared child, just so worried about what other people thought of him and just so worried about like looking good and pleasing everybody and just like trying to understand what did younger Alex need to hear back in those times and trying to give that to him. And in the midst of all this, I've been trying to really just kind of building off that, acknowledge myself more, you know, just validate myself more. I think I've always just thrived on like validation and like craved it, right? I think we all do in some respect. We crave that validation from other people. Are we on the right track? Are we doing the right things? And it can be exhausting. When you're not getting it, then it's like, what do I do? Right. And so like, I've been really attempting, and I've been just trying to, in the mornings and the evenings, acknowledge myself for being me, for putting my best foot out there. I'm proud of you. Like, just really trying to be that validation for myself. And then also at the end of the night, I have a little exercise that I do where I look through my day and I acknowledge all the victories, the little small wins. I brushed my teeth today. I meditated. I walked. I read. I did this for my business. I gave some good advice to somebody and helped somebody like move forward. Whatever it is, like, find these big and small wins throughout your day. And I've found that it's so awesome because you can kind of feel it, like, be grateful for all those little things. And then you start to train your mind to find those throughout your day as well. It's like, like acknowledging these small things of just drinking a little bit of water, of just stretching, of just doing a quick workout, of just, brushing your teeth, of anything that moves you forward, right? Is huge. And so that's been a huge, huge thing that I'd highly recommend to everybody, is just take 30 seconds at the end of the day. It doesn't take long at all. Just review your day and be like, yes, great win, 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 win. Like, just kind of pile up those wins, and you're going to see a lot of changes over time. I've been doing that for a little bit now. And just another thing that I'm just trying to be mindful of, because I'm listing a lot of stuff right here, right? Like, and I'm trying to just chill the fuck out at the same time, but also I'm just trying to be mindful of these things. And something that I've explored is that, like, I'm somebody who, when negative emotions have come up in the past, I've always gravitated towards external things, right? That's why I've had problem with addiction in the past. That's why I've had problem with a lot of different things and obsession and stuff like that, is like that whenever like negative emotions came over me, anger, sadness, guilt, shame, all this stuff, I tried to go outside myself to make myself feel better, right? Which is not a good formula. And so I'm really trying to be mindful of when I do feel those negative emotions, trying to use those negative emotions as a call to action, right? As feedback that something needs to change. And also just sitting with them, because they are going to pass, right? They are going to pass, meditating with them, sitting there, allowing myself to feel those emotions and allowing them to go, just to pass in a way that's going to serve me, right? Instead of trying to do something in response to them. And so that's something I'm trying to be mindful of. And hopefully this podcast holds me more accountable to doing that I will actually hold myself to that. And the last thing for this week is that I had an amazing NLP session last week. So NLP, like I've talked about, neuro linguistics programming. And I actually ended up just like hiring this guy as my just coach for another few sessions, because it's just been amazing so far of the changes that I've seen. But he had me do just some different visualization techniques. So the first one was the swish technique, where you kind of have, big vision, a big like picture. And when you close your eyes, big picture of like insecure self, like the lower version of yourself that you're not like proud of. And then in the corner, you have like the higher version, the chest up version, like just the exact ideal version of yourself, that like dream version of yourself. And you kind of swish them. So like you kind of swish this, like the smaller picture into like the ideal dream version of yourself into the front of your face. And you kind of practice doing this. And it's not easy right away. Like I struggled with it a little bit, but it got a lot easier, and like I could start seeing myself in a better light. And that's kind of what the point of this swish technique within NLP is, to actually see yourself in a better light, swishing the more less ideal version with the more ideal version. So you start to see yourself better. The second thing he had me do is anchoring. And so this was an amazing, amazing breakthrough, where there's like 3 different ways you can do it. You can do like a visual cue, like a hearing cue, like you hear yourself almost saying something in your mind, or like a touch, like you touch a certain part, and you want to keep these the same throughout. But basically what Guillermo had me do is just get into a state of an emotion, like a really, really good emotion through an experience that I had. So like an awesome experience that I had in the past that made me super happy, excited, like grateful, all this stuff. He had me get into it and like feel it, had me tell him how I was feeling. And then he had me use my anchor. He had me use my anchor, which is, I can do this. And it's not me saying it out loud, but it's me saying it in my head. And you want to kind of say it the same way each time and he had me do that like over and over again to like condition that anchor, that word or that phrase to make me feel that confidence, that happiness, that like I can do anything type of feeling. And so like that has been awesome. I've been using that throughout the week the days to just kind of, if I have something I got to do, like kind of to get me that boost of confidence to just push myself forward as well. So that's something you could try out too. Try anchoring yourself. It might be a little bit more difficult by yourself, but that has been an awesome thing. So like that's everything that I'm working through this week. Like I said, the main things that I, just to recap, is that I'm trying to just figure out what my younger self needed to hear, right? Trying to figure out what my younger self needed to hear, trying to give him that. And also just acknowledging myself more, validating myself more, being that validation for myself, and also acknowledging all the small and big wins that I'm having throughout the day. Those are huge, alongside just really trying to handle my emotions in a better way, because I've just realized I haven't done it as well in the past. So hopefully this episode has helped you out, a little update on my self-love journey, where I'm moving towards full self-acceptance, self-love, and just full belief in myself. So if you enjoy this, please like, subscribe, rate us on iTunes or on Spotify. Share it with a friend if you think this is helpful, or if you know somebody who could benefit from hearing my journey to more self-love, acceptance, and belief. So thanks again, everybody, for taking some time, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your week.